Okay, so this week's course is Sterling Hills Golf Course in Ventura, California. It is on the south side of the city, down 101, a little bit to the north. And this course was a slope 135 course. Came in about, I got there late on Friday, and I ended up coming back the next day to play the backside because I ran out of daylight at about the 12th hole. So you see some of the back holes are going to be as bright as the front holes. In the short, this course was a good course. It was, for the price I paid, it would be about $35 to play 18 holes in twilight on a weekday. It was a very good value. I wasn't really all that impressed with the layout of the course in the sense that it was a neighborhood course and it had a fair amount of houses. I would say it had a right up there about as much houses as you could expect. I guess the very most number of houses you could have would be to have houses on both sides of each and every hole, and it was not quite that bad. Certainly it was like two concentric rings, and the outer ring had houses on the inside and the inner ring had houses on the outside. So the houses were a respectable distance back from the course for the most part, and there was a modest amount of waste on the sides of the fairway between the houses and the course. So it wasn't like it was too overbearing in terms of the houses, but they were there, and it wasn't like the course was too easy. It did have waste on it, and it wasn't like a gimme. Let's put it that way. I think this is one of the better neighborhood courses that I've played. I definitely enjoyed the round. I thought it was a fun round. I thought the holes were mostly at least entertaining. Some of them were an outright challenge, and some of them were a good, solid challenge of golf. I think there was maybe one hole, maybe a par 3 on the front side that was really kind of a waste of time and a filler. But even that, was good practice. It was a 185-yard par 3 from the back tees next to a big stand of waste on the left and some houses and so forth. And it was a reasonable challenge of a par 3, even though it was flat, level, everything. Lots of grass around the greens. On this course, most of the greens had a lot of grass around the greens, a lot of open space. But there was a fair number of sand traps, and there were sand traps in the fairway. It certainly wasn't an easy course. It wasn't a gimme course. It was a good, reasonably good challenge of golf, and I definitely enjoyed it. And it was in a reasonable distance from Ventura, and not in the city, but not way out in the middle of the woods either. There weren't any planes really flying around the course. There was hardly any road noise. The only kind of corruption, I would say, to the game of golf was the houses in the area, and on some of the holes you could hear people having parties and stuff on their back decks, or people commenting while they were sitting on the back decks, which is unfortunate. But it's in the space of 18 holes in a neighborhood, it's inevitable that happens almost. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's worse. This wasn't bad. I would have to give this course, for what it is as a neighborhood woods course, a B+, given the price, given the quality of the golf, the challenge, the layout, the verticality, the amount of waste, the tightness of the course. It was just a good experience in terms of a local neighborhood course, and I certainly enjoyed it. And I can't really say a whole lot more about it than that. I know this is going to be a short one, but since my last one was a long one, and the one before that one was fairly long, and I was starting to get long and long and long, I'll spare you all the talking. It's just a good neighborhood woods course, and I certainly will give it a B+. I wouldn't say it's spectacular, though. I'd say you have to temper that expectation, but for a neighborhood woods course in a decent neighborhood, it's a gated neighborhood actually, but it's a decent neighborhood. It is pretty good. It's probably the best one that I can say that I've ever played in terms of a golf course. I've played neighborhood woods courses that have better houses, but not a better course, except maybe one course I can think of in Montgomery County. But that one had a lot more road noise than this one. And while it did have some certainly more challenging carries, no question about it, this one was adequate in that regard, and it was definitely a good fun round. That's Sterling Hills Golf Course in Ventura, California.